Spider-Man 4, the movie Sam Raimi planned, but the world never got to see. Tobey Maguire was supposed to return. Raimi had storyboards, villains, and even concept art, but in 2010, Sony cancelled the project. Fans were left wondering, what would it have been like? How would Raimi's saga have ended? Today, we are bringing Spider-Man 4 back to life through a fan-made story that captures Raimi's dark, emotional style. This is not a rumor, not a leak. This is the Spider-Man 4 that should have been. When Spider-Man 3 ended, Peter Parker had lost almost everything. Harry Osborn, his best friend, had died in his arms. Friend Marco, the Sandman, walked away into the night. Venom was destroyed, but at a cost. And Mary Jane, well, she was still there. Their relationship was fragile, damaged, but still alive. Now, years later, Peter is older, stronger, wiser, but also tired. The weight of a Spider-Man is heavier than ever. He teaches science at Midtown High. He helped Aunt May whenever he can. And at night, he swings through New York. But deep down, he knows his time as Spider-Man is running out. His body heals slower. His reflexes are not as sharp. And while New York still calls him a hero, Peter Parker wonders if it's time to finally hang up the mask. But just as he begins to dream of a normal life with Mary Jane, a new storm arrives. Adrian Toomes, a brilliant inventor, a man cheated by Oscorp, robbed of his life's work, and now a man dying of old age. Desperate, bitter, and consumed by rage, Toomes creates one last invention, a mechanical wingsuit powered by stolen Oscorp technique. The Vulture is born. Unlike Raimi's past villains like Doc Ock or Sandman, Toomes has no tragedy to banish his cruelty. He is cold, ruthless, unforgiving. He does not want money. He does not want fame. He wants blood. He wants Spider-Man's head. Meanwhile, a new figure rises in New York. A burglar, a thief, but not an ordinary criminal. She is fast, clever, and uncatchable. She calls herself Black Cat. Felicia Hardy. To Peter, she is a mystery. To Spider-Man, she is a temptation. She begins as a rival, breaking into Oscorp, stealing secrets, and always staying one step ahead of Spider-Man. But slowly, she becomes something more. Peter feels a connection to her, a freedom he never had with Mary Jane, a life of danger, excitement, and masks. And for the first time, Peter wonders, does being Spider-Man really have to be a curse? But before he can answer, the Vulture attacks. The first fight is unlike anything Peter has faced before. The Vulture is fast, his wings slice through steel like butter. His talons can crush concrete. They fight across Times Square. Glass shatters, cars flip, civilians scream. And for the first time in years, Spider-Man struggles. He is not the strongest anymore. He is not the fastest. He is old. In one brutal moment, Vulture grabs Peter by the chest and hurls him straight through a church window. The glass explodes. Peter crashes onto the altar. His mask is torn. His blood stains the marble floor. And as the bells toll above him, Peter remembers Harry, Norman, Uncle Ben, Gwen, everyone he is lost. Mary Jane rushes to his side after the battle. She begs him to give up the mask. She can't lose him too. But then comes Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat. She visits Peter in the night. She tells him that Spider-Man does not have to be a burden, that together they could embrace the life of thrill and power. Two masks, two shadows, one city. Peter is torn. Mary Jane offers love. Felicia offers freedom. And Vulture offers death. The climax begins at dawn. The Vulture unleashes his full plan. He kidnaps Mary Jane, he steals Orkov's tech, and he dares Spider-Man to face him one last time. The final battle takes place high above New York, across skyscrapers, construction cranes, and half-built towers. Vulture drives like a hawk. Spider-Man swings, dodging by inches. Their fight rips through steel beams, shatters glass, and shakes the skyline. But Peter is exhausted. His strength is fading, and Vulture knows it. You are old, Parker, he screams. You are weak. You are finished. In a devastating moment, Vulture slams Peter against a steel beam. His talons press against Peter's throat. But then, Peter remembers Uncle Ben's words. With great power comes great responsibility. With one last burst of strength, Peter waves Vulture's wings to a tower crane. The machine snaps, sparks fly, and Vulture crashes down. But as he falls, his heart gives out. He clutches his chest, gaps for and whispers in his final moment, "Mercy, even now, that's why you will never win, Parker." And then silence. Peter saves Mary Jane, but the victory feels hollow. Felicia disappears into the night, her future uncertain, her connection to Peter unresolved. The Vulture is dead. Oscorp lies in ruins, and Spider-Man is still standing. But Peter knows the truth. He is not invisible anymore. He is not the kid who got bitten by a spider. He is a man who chose responsibility, a man who lost everything but still refuses to give up. The final scene is simple. Mary Jane takes Peter's hand. They stand on their apartment balcony looking over New York. Peter pulls on his mask one last time. He swings into the sunset not as the invisible Spider-Man but as a man who, no matter the cost, never stopped being a hero. This was Spider-Man 4, the Raimi sequel fans deserve. Would you have watched it? Drop a yes in the comments if you would. And if you want more Spider-Man fan stories, Lost sequels, and Marvel deep dives, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Because the story of Spider-Man will never truly end.